Father is greater than I, none is good but God, but then according to them out the other side of his mouth, he's part of the Trinity and God himself. That kind of foolishness. So
that's not
the
an
original.
example.
Brother, listen.
Give me
I'm saying
a context.
you lot have presented.
That's a straw man. That's a red herring, actually.
Brother, I want you to listen carefully to what I say.
Explain it properly, because that's
I'm
a red
saying,
herring.
No, llisten carefully, because this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to enhance your IQ, your intelligence.
Give me a different example.
No, listen. No, because it's the best one. Because you're a Christian. Bruv, I'm licking down bare birds with one stone. I want you to pay attention.
In your mind.
Brother, listen carefully.
There's no birds.
Listen carefully.
The prophet talks to God, but I haven't talked to the angel, never talked to God.
Exactly.
What? I said it's in communication.
But you communicate with the angel.
According to what criteria? Where did you get that? Where did you get that from?
You see, this is what happens.
Right.
He's about to get beat, and then you jump in.
No. He's made a valid point, because you said he's in communication with God. Where did you get that criteria from?
Sonny does that here, bro.
You need
Ebola virus.
You need to spray yourself with that.
No. Don't worry about that. Sure. Right, listen carefully.
All right.
Why I gave the example of the Messiah according to Christianity. Okay? Hardly ever have we met anyone who's actually met a prophet. Right?
Yes.
Apart from some weirdo in the woods or whatever else.
Yes.
So all the time it's going to be some sort of hearsay information, correct?
Okay.
So there's going to be a version of that prophet presented to us by somebody else. You are representing the Christians who are presenting a version of that prophet.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right.
So if you look at most of the prophets,
From
the
where?
any prophet, right, children of Israel prophet.
What am I using as the
Brother,
proof
listen,
text?
I'm talking about your book. Whoever you call a prophet.
But if the book is corrupted,
Brother, listen, I'm saying, do you see what I mean?
you see,
Brother, listen.
But you're not giving a good example.
Brother,
You're appealing to something you don't believe in.
Stop.
Is the Bible corrupted?
Listen.
Is the Bible
yes,
corrupted?
it's damn corrupted.
All right.
Listen
So then
carefully.
I'm asking you, where is your criteria coming from for your own prophet?
Listen carefully.
I'm listening. You're just waffling on inside the inside track.
Right, what I want you to do,
All right.
okay, can you count to 10?
No, I can't.
All right,
Get to the point.
Exactly.
Brother, I'm trying to.
All right.
This is what I'm saying. Pay attention.
All right.
Despite I do not accept your book.
Okay.
One of the things you do when you are judging anything is put your bias aside.
Okay.
And you take the evidence of either side.
Okay.
Do you understand? Can you imagine going before a judge and he just don't like you? So he's
Yeah,
gonna
but get to the
no,
point.
no,
Forget
stop
the
it.
judge.
Stop it.
That's
Stop
what
it.
I'm- this is what I'm-
Stop it. This is what you keep doing. Every time I'm about to smash you into the goddamn concrete.
There's no
you
smashing
wanna-
anything.
Brother, stop.
Make it quick then.
Hasn't even got a watch. Could you
You're
guys
fine.
shut the hell up?
Make your
Time
point.
it, then be quiet.
All right.
Right. You're saying that I can't use this because it's your book. I'm saying the best thing for me to use is your book because it's your evidence against yourself. Yes or no? Your own testimony is the best evidence against yourself, is it not? Yes or no? Just
your
answer.
I'm-
Yes or
You see, you don't want me to talk now. You want me to talk. I'm holding
just
back.
yes or no. Or nod your head. Don't talk. Just nod or shake. One or the other.
Make your statement.
What the hell does shoulders
Make
mean?
your statement.
Trying to verify
Exactly.
your prophet.
Just
No.
make your statement, and I'm going to
Because
respond.
you interrupted, and this guy shook as hell. He
There's no
spun off.
shock. I'm waiting for you to make your statement, and I'm going to reply.
I want you to listen carefully.
I'm listening.
You, people in general who talk about a prophet have hardly ever met him. The majority of followers are those that come later on. Yes? So it's a hearsay idea. Now the way that the people later on verify the prophet, how do they do it? And that's the real question you're asking me. How does someone who hasn't met the prophet, because we're saying,
How did the people?
for flip's sake.
Now he doesn't want me to talk again.
Let me just finish
All
this
right.
little bit. We're saying
Yes.
that the people around the prophet witnessed his miracles. Big up my brother, yes. And the Quranists, they understood it and had it was a miracle to them. But how do you prove that today? Your people are saying that your Messiah came and he raised people out the graves. That's a miracle, is it not? But I haven't seen it and you haven't seen it. So the question is, how can we, who haven't seen any of these events, verify that those people we're hearing about are prophets? See, I have to help you with your own damn question. That's how retarded you are. Now you need to wear one of these so that you don't get all the fumes from the sunnies and your brain don't get all mashed up. This is what I'm saying. Do you understand that basic point?
Okay, you
The
haven't
basic-
answered my question. I said to you, listen to what. Now you listen and let it digest. Because you call
sorry.
yourself an
Black
intellectual,
intellect.
a black intellect, but we're seeing a lot of
Black
anti-intellectualism. Because
yeah.
my question was this: he believes Muhammad was a prophet. what is the criteria to establish he was a prophet? So if I am someone before the time of Muhammad, what am I using to determine he was a prophet? Because if this person hasn't come, that's why I said, what is the difference between a true prophet and a false prophet?
What did I say?
Let me finish. Now, the thing is, we have to have a criteria to say, okay, this prophet does this. This is what makes him a prophet. Because if someone else does something, he said, let's say prophets do miracles, but there's other people that can do things.
Have you noticed?
Now you're interjecting.
My criteria was not if they could do miracles.
I'm not saying that.
Wait,
generally speaking.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
So now when I interrupt you.
Stop.
Now when I interrupt you.
Wait, stop.
Because I hadn't finished. I hadn't finished.
No, stop.
You see?
Because you interrupt me bare times.
All right,
wait.
so this is going to be back and forth.
No.
Make your point.
What I'm saying is, this is why he forgot last week. Because he doesn't pay attention. I gave a clear answer to his first question regarding a true prophet and a clear answer regarding
Did he give a clear answer?
Stop interrupting.
No one understands what you just said.
What did I say
Did
about
you understand what he just said?
Wait.
Did you understand what he just said? So therefore,
he wasn't there.
You see,
wait,
no one is understanding what you're saying.
You choose two retards, and then you want to tell me I don't know if he's retard or not. You choose two retards.
You're insulting people you don't even know. This is the level of what you. This is the levels. Now, if they do not understand, it means you're not clarifying it. Re-establish your point.
Listen carefully. You claimed it wasn't clear. What was my response?
There was a lot of waffling.
A true prophet, stop. A true prophet and a false prophet. What?
You didn't answer the question directly.
I didn't answer. Hold on, stop. Let's see if I didn't. My first answer to a true prophet was what? That they had communication. Yes, which you got wrong and said I spoke. Yes or no?
You said communication with God.
Yes. Wait, no. Don't argue the point. Did I say that or not?
Argue this time.
No. Yes or no?
Did you argue what?
I didn't argue.
Okay.
Did I say
so
that?
They have communication with God.
Stop. You're both lying on me, saying I didn't give a clear, straightforward answer to 2 points. My brother, Assalamu alaikum. Listen. Yes. Oh, no, wait.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Right, so, this guy here, please turn the camera to him. Clearly.
But the thing is, you talk so much, your point gets lost.
No.
So basically, you're saying you gave 2 points, but then you spent 10 minutes just for those 2 points.
Because you interrupted and he interrupted.
So make it clear. That's why I said get to the point.
Say it again.
You're talking
Listen
about
carefully.
the sun and the moon.
Number one was communication.
Okay.
Yes? And what was the other thing I said? Let's see if you can remember the second thing I said.
I can't remember because you speak so much.
See what I mean?
It gets lost in what you're saying. That's why I said be clear. Because after 5
You don't know what the
minutes.
question is.
You're not just arguing back and
Hold on, so you don't remember.
Okay.
I'll
Now
remind
be
you.
succinct
No,
with
stop.
your answers.
This is what I'm saying to you.
All right.
This is why you don't understand, he don't understand, and he don't even remember your question. His
Don't
question
you think
was,
if no one
bloody
understood the
hell.
point you're
He
making, it's
doesn't
down to
remember your
you
question.
to clarify what you're saying and be succinct.
Listen, dummy. He said he can't remember your question. Bloody hell.
Ask him what your answer was. He won't even remember that.
He doesn't remember your question.
Just
don't
make your-
pretend.
make your
no.
point.
Very simply, he asked what is the criteria for a prophet. Prophet.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
All right.
Do you want some memory dust or something? What's wrong with you, bloody retard? Okay. What was my answer?
According to what you said, they in communication with God. And I don't know what the other thing you said because you were going on for so long.
Should we write it down for you?
Write it down. Anyone got a pen and paper? No? So repeat your
This is why these people end up believing in contradictory garbage. Because they can't remember the most
You
simplistic
see, he
things.
can't answer the point.
But I'll
Just
say
get
it
to the
again. How many
point.
times do you want me to say it for you?
I wanted to say
Okay.
now and just
One,
stick.
they're in communication with the Most High God.
Okay.
Which we call Allah.
All right.
What was the second one?
You asked that
Just
before.
say you
I said I don't know.
You don't remember?
Yes.
Okay. What was the first one?
They're in communication.
Right. Well done, class. Well done.
All right.
Well done. The second one.
Give him a round of applause.
I'll change it so that you might remember
Okay.
it. But the basis is
All right.
that he has evidence to prove and demonstrate that he is in communication.
Okay.
Number one was he's in communication. Number two, class, is that he can prove and demonstrate that he is in communication. Do you understand? Have you got it? A true prophet, the nature of a true prophet.
Yeah, go on.
He's in communication and he proves and demonstrates that he is.
Okay.
The most basic definition.
Okay.
Yes? I hope any dumb. Anyway, whatever. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, there's the criteria.
So now,
Can you repeat it back? Just 2 points. Repeat it back, please.
so demonstrable evidence.
In communication with the source.
Yes.
Number
And
one.
demonstrable evidence
Demonstrate evidence of what?
of this communication.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Even though it's slightly
So,
different.
so now, before the time of Muhammad,
Yes.
did the Jews and the Christians have a criteria for a prophet?
Yes, they did.
Okay. So now tell us how Muhammad came in, like, affirmed that criteria.
From what criteria? You asked me if they did.
Yes.
I didn't tell you I knew what it was.
Okay.
I didn't tell you I agreed with it or
Okay.
believed it or anything like
Okay, let me rephrase my question
Yes,
in a different
rephrase it,
way.
'cause it's the
Now
time.
you have false prophets because you believe the story of Moses, who had sorcerers who could demonstrate signs from what they called their God, right? Because that's why the Egyptians would have followed, like the Pharaoh would have followed the sorcerer's God, because there was no Moses at the time.
that. The sorcerer's God. No, the sorcerers
At the time.
were trying to teach that Pharaoh was God.
Okay.
And they done it with the might of Pharaoh.
Okay.
That's why you were saying
Now,
I'm God.
so therefore, they've shown that they're in communication with their God by doing evidence in it through sorcery. So you're according to your criteria, they're prophets
You're
too.
in trouble. And this is why I beg you lot, stop following these dunces. The word I used was source, and I put Allah next to it. Why did I do that? Because if we have to wrangle over the name Allah and who and what we're talking about, it's a different story. So in English, source. Would you agree it doesn't take a genius to work out that Pharaoh could never be the source of the universe?
Why? If they
Listen-
believed it,
listen to what I
then
just said.
your argument goes
I'll
against
tell you why. I'll tell
because
you
they
why.
believed
I'll
it.
tell you why.
Why?
Because at some point,
Yes.
someone in that nation
Okay.
was old enough to remember that Pharaoh wasn't even born here.
Okay.
That Pharaoh had a mother and a father. So he couldn't have been the source.
Did they believe it?
What are you listening, bro?
Did they believe it? Yes or no?
Let's say they did. What's your point?
So then the point is your logical argument does not work because you're saying it's logic that someone will at some point realize he's not the source of all things. But
Okay.
if they believed it, your argument goes against you.
Right, so let me help you again.
All right.
I gave you the most basic definition,
right.
and now it needs further elaboration
Okay.
for your, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, with that evidence that's demonstrable,
Okay.
if somebody says Pharaoh's the source,
Okay.
the true prophet like Moses would argue the point continuously using logic, reason, and rationality to prove that Pharaoh's not the source.
But what if Moses didn't come to those people? Because this is what I'm saying. There are many things called false prophets,
This
right?
guy, listen, this is what I'm saying. You know what it is, bruv? Do you know what a dictionary is? Pick up
You're
the
making
damn thing.
convoluted points
Because,
that
bruv,
don't make sense
listen
only to
carefully, 'cause
yourself.
You're not listening.
I'm listening.
All right, if there's any word I use that you don't understand the meaning, ask me what it means.
Okay.
Okay? When I say demonstrable evidence for the prophet,
Okay.
your example is that this magician is saying that Pharaoh is the source. Yes? I'm saying to you that they can say he's the great God.
Okay.
Now the argument against him being that is that he at one time didn't exist.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So somebody older than the Pharaoh
Okay.
say, well, I remember when he was born. We had a massive celebration. So therefore, he can't be the source if his parents are older than him
So
and the
now,
old man's
now
older than
because
him.
you're intellectual, can you give me any evidence of where this ever happened? Because
What ever happened?
for example, the
There's one
Romans
criteria,
appealed
what's
to
that?
Caesar as God, yes?
Yes, go on.
So based on your criteria that someone should have had the logical idea to say this person had a beginning. So can you back that up with evidence? Because my claim is this, because we don't have evidence of this happening, people did not have the same understanding as you did.
Right.
Because you said, oh, it's so easy to identify that
right.
they had
Okay, I
a source
understand your-
point.
right,
But
so-
then
I hear
if people had that chain of thought,
Yes.
we'd be able to see
Okay.
evidence, and
Okay.
therefore no one would have given arms to Caesar
Right.
or the pharaohs
Okay.
for hundreds of years.
Right, so let me explain another thing which you may not know.
All right.
There are species called human beings, okay? There are Sunni, pagan, infidel, kafir monkeys, and there's others, and then there's human beings, okay? The Sunnis are a bit less than the human beings. Now understand, unfortunately you've been drinking and eating with Sunnis and you've caught the virus. Listen carefully. It is possible for humans in mass to be brainwashed and to believe in absolute nonsense.
That people would follow the Quran.
Stop. I knew you were going to come up with something silly.
It's possible. It's a
Stop.
possibility.
Stop. I'm saying to you, we're
Yes.
talking about human beings, and
Yes.
it's called science.
Muslims are human
Psychology, and what subjects am I using there when I say this? psychology,
Okay.
sociology,
Okay.
and politics.
All right.
It could be more as well.
Okay.
It goes down biology, the brain, yes?
Fine.
So what I'm saying to you is,
Yes.
very simply,
All right.
that once you know that human beings in their normal everyday life
Okay.
use logic, reason and rationality to survive
Okay.
and obtain pleasure,
All right.
there are times at which they can be convinced to throw away that logic, reason and rationality.
Okay.
That does not remove what the truth actually is.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right.
So my criteria given for a prophet still stands. Because I said the basic,
Okay.
fundamental things. Do you
Okay.
understand?
So now your fundamentals, are they coming from the Quran or your own intellect?
the
Like,
Quran because the Quran is in line with logic, reason and rationality.
So therefore, your argument based on the Quran is circular.
No, I just said to you, you need some bread. The Quran is in line with logic, reason, and rationality.
Okay.
For instance, if the Quran said,
Yeah.
don't eat too much fat,
Okay.
it's bad for you.
Alright.
Would you agree it's not circular because I follow the Quran? We can actually demonstrate that you shouldn't eat too much fat
No, but
because it's not good for
I'll
you.
tell you why it's circular.
yes, sir.
Let me respond in my own way.
Alright, go on.
I'll tell you why, because you've made a red or
In relation to fact, deal
yeah,
with that
because
one.
my point was this. The reason why I'm interjecting is to clarify, is because you said a prophet has to communicate with Allah. Now the Quran was sent by Allah, but it's this person who is telling you. If I, for example,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
that's why
the
I'm
person's
calling
telling
it-
you.
yes.
Then, bruv, I gave you the 2 points because they're together.
yeah, and it has to be demonstrated.
Anyone, the false prophet claims he's a prophet, yes?
Yeah.
But when he demonstrates, like what you just gave, what did I say about the false prophet? This is the good part. What did I say about the false prophet?
The false prophet.
Yeah. What was my criteria for the false prophet? Because you need to know that to understand that part.
Okay, we clarify your point.
All right.
About the
What was my thing about the true prophet? Let's
true
see.
prophet,
Test your memory.
communication with God, and it has to be
The
demonstrable.
source. Allah.
Yeah. And it
What
has-
demonstrable? He demonstrates.
in what sense?
I
I said it's demonstrable. You said no. He demonstrates. So I'm asking
It
you
is
to clarify.
demonstrable. I'm
Yeah.
asking you to repeat what I said so that you don't reword what I said and base the argument on your rewording. Do you understand the problem?
Okay.
If everyone rewords what someone else said,
Okay.
then they got their own line of thinking. Yes?
All right.
So if you can quote me as accurately as possible, I'm saying that the criteria for a true prophet.
Yes.
So a true prophet comes to somebody and the claim is it's in communication with the source. Yes? And the true prophet demonstrates and proves that it is in communication with the source.
Okay.
Obviously from that comes prophecy, comes miracles, whatever. It's
Okay.
in some communication with the source.
Okay.
Do you understand? So there's elaboration, but these are the basics.
So now,
So a false prophet-
But let me just, so we don't go too far ahead. So those 2 points. Now I'm asking you, where have you got to establish those 2 points from? Like what? Where did you get
My
your
research,
conclusion from?
my research.
Based on what?
My research based on logic, reason, rationality.
So it's your
human
own
beings.
logic, reason, and rationality. So it's your own criteria.
Brother, listen.
That's why I said I'm
I don't
asking
know
you
what's wrong with you,
if
bro.